All right, guys, let's get ready for our mental math today. We are jumping around a little bit in Unit 7. We're actually only doing a couple lessons from Unit 7 because there's a lot of lessons in here that we would need to be together to do. A lot of things on measurement, a lot of activities where we need to work together in a big group. So we're just picking the most important ones that we can do without having to be together in Unit 7. And then we're actually going to move on to Unit 8. So we're going to start with our mental math. We're going to do some addition with 3 different numbers. Remember from the other day, we tried to think of different ways that we can add numbers together using strategies we already know. So using those fast facts that we already know, 10 facts, double facts. So when I look at this number model, I see 9 plus 1. And I see that 1 and the 11, and I see the 9. And I know if I bring those together, it's going to give me the number 20. And then I can bring that together with my 3 to get what answer? Okay, and remember, if you need time to solve, you can always pause your video. And then when you get your answer, unpause, and then we'll reveal. Okay, but remember, it's also mental math, so it should be done quickly and in our heads. So 9 plus 3 plus 11 is going to give us 23. Let's move on to the second one. We have 8 plus 12 plus 9. So right away, my brain sees this 8 and this 2. And it knows that that 8 and the 2 is a 10 fact, but I can't forget that this 10 is here as well. So it's going to be 8 plus 2 is 10, 10 ones plus a 10 for my tens place to give us 20, and then we add our 9. So what is the sum of 8 plus 12 plus 9? Pause if you need to. The sum is 29. All right, let's move on to level 2. For level 2, our first number model is, a 4 number one. We have 9 plus 3 plus 11 plus 17. So we're still going to look for those 10 facts or double facts. I see my 1 and my 9, my 7 and my 3. All right, so I'm going to bring those together. I'm going to make those the ones that I look at first, and then take those numbers to make my addition a little bit easier. So I know 11 plus 9 is going to give me 20. And I know 17 plus 3 is also going to give me 20. So instead of working with all these random numbers, now I can just do 20 plus 20, which is a lot easier, right? Pause if you need to. And the sum of that number model is going to be 40, because 20 plus 20 will give us 40. Let's take a look at our next one. 12 plus 13 plus 17 plus 8. So at first we see all these numbers and we think, Miss Cottrell, there's no way I can solve this. This is just way too many numbers. I need to write it down. I need to use a number grid. I need to use my fingers. But you don't, because you have the strategies to help you figure it out. 10 facts. Use those 10 facts. We have done so much work with those 10 facts, and here is why, so that we can use them to help us solve number models like this. So I see this 2 and this 8, and I see that 7 and that 3 again. And I know when I bring those together, it's going to give me a 10, right? So 8 plus 2 is 10. 3 plus 7 is 10. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. All right, that one we kind of did together. My sum is going to be 50. And for our level 3, let's take a look what kind of challenge they're going to throw at us here. Oh, we've got some numbers in the 20s now, but I still see my 10 facts. I see a 4 and a 6, and I see a 5 and a 5. I'm going to bring those together first. Or I can bring my 10s together first. I can say 20, 30, 40. Right? So I have 40 with just my 10s. Now I'm going to look at my 1s. Right? So I have 40. 5 plus 5 is 10. That makes 50. 6 plus 4 is another 10. That makes 60. All right. And let's take a look at our last one. The big 2-digit numbers there. Right? But look in that ones place. Look in that ones place and find your ways to make a 10. I see 5 plus 5, and I see 7 plus 3. So let's start with our 10s first. Let's gather up all those 10s. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So I have 80 in just my 10s. Now I'm going to look at my ones place. 5 plus 5, that's another 10. 80 plus 10 is 90. 7 plus 3 is another 10. 90 plus 10 is 100. All right, awesome. So here's what we're going to do. Instead of us stopping this video and making a separate video for our math message, we're going to dive right into that. All right, so our math message for today is going to be discussing shapes. Today is actually a lesson that is going to get us ready for our next unit. Right? It is some different questions and different explorations and observations for us to take a look at shapes to get us ready for our next unit. All right, so I'm going to show you some different shapes, and I want for you to tell me, what do you notice? Right? What do you notice about these shapes? All right, so let's see if, nope, that's not where we want to go. I'm going to pull it up here again for us. All right, I'm going to go to our activity kit. There it was. We're going to get that up again. So we're going to take a look at some different shapes, and we're just going to talk about them. We're going to talk about what do we notice. Okay, so I'm going to pull up some different ones for us. Pull out this guy. We're going to take this guy out. Maybe this one. Move him up a little bit. We'll do this one over here and this one over here. So that's a big one. Let's just take a look at them. Right? Let's just take a look and let's see what we notice about all of these shapes. Right? So you might start to think about the names of them. Right? You might start counting parts of them. All right? If you need a few minutes, again, hit that pause button. Think about what you notice. Give you a little bit of time. But if you need some more time, you can always pause. Right, what do we notice with these shapes? All right, so let's talk about some of the things that I notice, and let's see if there are some of the same things that you notice too. Great minds think alike, and a lot of times you guys have the same exact answers that I have. All right, so first off, when I see these shapes, my brain just automatically starts naming them, right? So I see triangles right here. I see a square, I see a rectangle. Right? And I see this guy over here, which is a trapezoid. Right? I also notice that all of these shapes are made of straight lines. Right? They are straight lines that go from one point to another point, and all these lines are connected. So there's no open spaces. There's enough lines to close in the shape. Nothing is open. Right? I also notice that they have different number of sides. So this triangle and this triangle, even though they look different, they still have 1, 2, 3 sides. 1, 2, 3 sides. And I noticed that this shape here has 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. This shape here has 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this shape here also has 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. Even though they all have 4 sides, they are all very different. I noticed that this shape, all of my sides are exactly the same. I noticed in this shape that my top and bottom are different, but my left and right look the same. And over here, I noticed that my left and right match and my top and bottom match, but they are not all the same length, like this shape over here. And then my triangles, I also noticed that this triangle is made up of 3 sides that are all exactly the same, and this one is not, but it's still a triangle. Okay. So we are going to be exploring shapes today. I have some games for us to play. It's all about just exploring, getting familiar, excuse me, getting familiar with them to get us ready for our next unit. All right, so I will see you in our next video.